43 hours of absolute insanity, over 10 hours of raw unedited footage sitting on my hard drive, and one single objective: 100% complete the base game of Dying Light the Beast. At least that was the plan, before Nightmare turned into an absolute nightmare. Travis' buggy races gave me brain-rot and game-breaking bug forced me to pull off the most controversial move of my gaming life: grab a drink, because this is the story of how I 100% completed Dying Light the Beast. It all kicked off on July 6th. The game opens in a hidden lab complex where Kyle Klein, after 13 years of horrific medical experiments, uses a power outage to escape the Baron's henchmen in the Rise and Shine. Exhausted, you crawl into the post-apocalyptic forests of Castor Woods. The game instantly rewards you with finally free achievement. I make my way to the monastery where I clear out the zombies, secure my first safe zone, and meet Olivia. She provides us with valuable assistance so we can defeat Baron, just right after I'm standing face to face with my first Chimera. And of course I easily defeat it while collapsing on the ground. Fortunately, Olivia saves us. And that gets us the second achievement for defeating our first Chimera. Next up is the Life After Life mission. We have to reach Old Town to help out the survivors retake Town Hall. And along the way we encountered our second Chimera. And that would be our third trophy for saving the survivors at the Town Hall. I also checked out Sunday Morning Run for running 10,000 meters and Craftsman's Apprentice for installing my first weapon modification. We speak with Jacob to learn more about the beast appearance. I forgot to mention, we are introduced to the first volatiles of the playthrough. After investigating his tracks and a little rescue mission at the church, we finally find him in the train tunnels. We barely survive the encounter with the beast and we instantly have to run for our lives. Now our beast mode is active and we can tear our opponents to shreds. Quick demonstration. Without a second to breathe, we are on the radio with Olivia tracking our next Chimera. As it turns out, it's a misty witch. As always, we kill her, gather GSB and inject ourselves to get stronger. With a slight break from any achievements, we spoke to the sheriff and began to investigate the power plant failure. We reached the power station where we met Largo, and after bringing electricity back, with a little to no help from him, we are surprised again. As it turns out, he was the one who sabotaged the plant on Baron orders. We switch the power back on, defeat Baron soldiers and go back to the sheriff. And this gets us to our next achievement. Largo Embargo, discover the Baron's sabotage. Next up, we investigate the Baron's activity near the monument. We climb to the top, and it surprised us with another achievement for us. That leads us to the ENF plant, where we find his newest invention, a gas used for luring in chimeras. We take one with us, lure our next chimera on the junkyard, and kill it on the spot. We go back to Olivia with blood sample and go on a climbing trip to Sheriff. We meet her at the mine's lookout point. We go into the mine just to find out that she also betrayed us. We meet the beast again and somehow survive a mountain being dropped onto our heads, which gets us the less obedient achievement. Somewhere along the way I also got the achievement for killing an enemy using a dropkick. Iconic. Now we can come back to the story. I rush into the town hall looking for Sheriff. I got Jacob instead. He helps us in contact some survivors that were also Baron's test subjects. We make our way to one of their scouts who just happens to be a telepath. He also needs our help. We have to rescue missing scouts and get them home quickly before they turn. In exchange for helping out Sven, we got a grappling hook. Now we can traverse Castor Woods even faster than ever before. He also introduces us to Selby. She currently listens and controls radio communications. Putting their genius together, they devised a plan to hack the Baron's radio transmissions, giving them the best inside information possible. We have to mount the transmitter onto the radio relay, find the Baron's men and loot one of the radios, collect another transmitters from military convoys and mount the other two transmitters on the radio relays. After that, just in time, we got the message that Baron is planting bombs under the town hall. We got there just in time to defuse the explosives and save the survivors once again. We turn our attention to Olivia as she meets with us in the national park. She has some more information about a new camera. We make our way to the location and take it out for more GSB. We inject ourselves again because, as we know, it's the only way to defeat Baron. Next, we talk to the exiled scout. They want us to retrieve some research from Baron's outpost. Clearing the outpost, we came across a friendly researcher, Camilo. He promises to help us and we clear the escape route for him. We deliver research to Lydia just to find out that Ray and Camilo didn't make it. We rush to them just to find Ray's dead body. We found Camilo traces and follow them to the blue house across the street. We clear all the infected and find Camilo. We meet Olivia again. She tracked another Chimera's location to a cement factory. Turns out it's a matriarch. She was definitely tougher than the previous bosses. She could disappear, one-shot me, and kept screaming for help non-stop. But in the end, I came out victorious. I gave the blood sample to Olivia and headed towards the exile cave. Along the way, Lydia reached out. Thanks to the Camilo's research, they believe the exiles might be able to control some of the infected. The bad news? We have to step right into the volatile's nest. Before we could even step inside, we bumped into another one of Baron's twisted experiments, an invisible volatile guarding the entrance. We got to work and killed him as usual. Our task is to extract 3 samples from different larvae. As long as you keep things quiet, it's pretty straightforward. But right after collecting the last sample, we alert the volatiles and have to run for our lives once again. After delivering the samples to Lydia, we embark on another trip with Olivia. As usual, she's tracked down a new chimera, but this one is a bit different. A giant colossus. After a ton of punching and unleashing beast mode, I finally bring him down. This leads us to the longest and most event-filled mission in the game. Lydia sends us to a mental asylum to retrieve a drug called Neurorace. We managed to sneak through the entire complex without waking a single zombie, only to be greeted by an alarm, forcing us into a desperate escape. Immediately after, we got word that Baron's soldiers are raiding the town hall. We have to rush in, disable the gas dispensers and destroy their mortars before time runs out. Last but not least, we fight off more chimeras using Lydia's new telepathic powers, which even allow us to control a chimera of our own. That's right, there unlocks our 10th achievement, Enhanced Telepathy. Once again, we're brought back to the E&F plant to acquire 2 more red gas canisters. We drive through a few marked locations, luring the beast straight to us. We're forced to run, weakening him bit by bit until we finally bring him down so we can gain control. Turns out, it's Aiden from Dying Light 2! But he lost control, and we had to bring him back to his senses. Now that we have all our allies together, we can finally begin our ultimate mission, killing Baron. Before the final assault, we check on the beast in the exile's cave, only to discover he willingly surrendered himself to Baron. Crash to Baron's facility to break him out. To let our forces in, we neutralize 4 sharpshooters on the walls and breach the gates. Baron throws everything at us, soldiers, infected, and waves of chimeras, but we tear through them all, but things go horribly wrong under Baron's threats. Olivia is forced to put us to sleep. Right before our eyes, Baron executes Spike, a familiar face from Dying Light 2, along with another ally. Luckily, Olivia redeems herself. She turns on Baron, wounds him, and buys us enough time to escape. Now it's pure retaliation. Side by side with Aiden, we pursue a wounded Baron straight into his castle. Cornered, with nowhere left to run, Baron pulls his ultimate trump card and turns into a chimera himself. But even that mutated monstrosity wasn't enough to save him, and we put a permanent end to his reign once for all. And just like that, the main story is complete. Right after completing the story, I jumped straight into clearing out the rest of the map. I claimed every safe zone for we're safe here and activated all transformer stations. And then there was light. I didn't want to disrupt the pacing of the story recap earlier, but during my run I also maxed out my inner beast and fully upgraded my survival skills, unlocking 2 more trophies along the way. I completed almost every side quest except Travis's races and was genuinely confused as to why the Good Samaritan achievement hadn't popped yet, so I pushed on with the grind, hunting collectibles, upgrading schematics and prepping for the big one, New Game Plus on Nightmare difficulty. Now you're probably thinking, this was the absolute hardest part of the entire challenge, I thought so too, but as it turns out, if you grind your legend levels beforehand, Nightmare mode becomes a total walk in the park. Sure, enemies can still want to free shot you, but with a maxed out build, I could do exact same thing to them. What a plot twist. I basically speedrun the entire Nightmare playthrough without any major roadblocks. Did I die? Plenty of times. Did I burn through a mountain of food, meds and flashlight batteries? Absolutely. But thanks to the daily Dark Zone loot runs and constant trader restocks, I was always stacked to the brim. I cleared New Game Plus and Nightmare in a single smooth run. At this point, only minor cleanup and one glitched collectible remained, bringing us to the final chapter of this video. First up, Travis's races. I cleared every single one on my Nightmare save, only to realize it didn't count for the side quest achievement because my main quest progress was on my first save file. So I went back, got gold on every race after a few tries and finally unlocked the racing trophy. That also popped Good Samaritan for completing all side quests, and I still don't approve of mindless fun for running over 500 zombies with a car. Next was a ridiculous one, repairing a weapon 50 times. I literally spent minutes hitting a random wall, repairing my weapon and repeating it until the trophy popped. Then came Gunslinger, the trophy that refused to track properly earlier in my run. I finally unlocked it in my final hour of grouping up a horde and lining up 6 headshots in a row. I also went on a total rampage with a flamethrower and beast mode, securing my last 2 combat trophies for killing 666 zombies in beast mode and 112 with the flamethrower. With all combat out of the way, I started the final grind, maxing out every golden schematic and hunting down the last remaining collectibles. But then disaster struck. I was missing one single Castor Woods newspaper, locked out behind a quest I had already passed. There was no way I was spending another 15 hours on a fresh save just for one paper, so I committed the most controversial act in my gaming history. I downloaded a 100% save file just to trigger that last broken achievement and complete the list. Or so I thought, because right as I finished, update 1.5 dropped, adding the brand new Restored Land mode, along with 7 new achievements. So if you enjoyed this video and want to see me tackle Castor Woods again, this time with 1 life, no respawning zombies and the chance to permanently liberate the city, leave a comment with the words Restored Land down below. Thank you for watching and see you next time!